section.
Hi there! We are currently finishing up 7 days on the world's largest cruise ship, the Allure of the Seas, and she's absolutely beautiful. She has got a zip line, 2 rock climbing walls, 2 flow riders, a carousel, a mini golf course, a casino, did I say casino? An ice skating rink, and 4 swimming pools, all of which takes 8 minutes and 18 seconds to get from bow to stern. The Allure and her sister ship Oasis of the Seas are very unique because of the neighborhoods that they have on board. These neighborhoods include Central Park, the Boardwalk, and the Royal Promenade. Now, all these perks and amenities don't just make Allure the largest ship in the world, but the largest ship by a long shot. She is 30% bigger than her next biggest competitor, the Norwegian Epic. If you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, should you book Allure or Oasis? Is bigger really better? Well, this is my 17th cruise, and after experiencing many different ship classes, the answer might surprise you. Let's talk about the neighborhoods. Royal Caribbean is an innovator. Many of their ships have the Royal Promenade with shops and restaurants, but Allure and Oasis were the first to have the Boardwalk and Central Park. Having all this space really makes your time on board a vacation in itself. You can easily fill your days at seas exploring the ins and outs of the ship. But one downside to having such a large vessel is that you're limited in the ports that can handle such a big boat. For example, Grand Cayman. It's my absolute favorite place to go, but we couldn't go this trip because we can't tender in with this many people. On the flip side, one bonus of the extra tonnage is less movement at sea. We've never really been seasick, so it's not something that you really need to worry about, but there's definitely less movement on Allure. You also get all the best talent that Royal Caribbean has to offer. Being the newest ship, you get the newest shows, the best cruise director, and you also get to test the new rollouts that Royal Caribbean has to offer. On our particular cruise, they were testing out the unlimited internet packages and also the free drink credits for Diamond guests. Of course, if you're the biggest and the best, you can expect for things to get crowded. There are an extra 2,000 people compared to the next biggest ship, and sometimes you can feel it and sometimes you can't. For instance, if you're trying to get a pool chair, it might be a little tricky on a sea day. And if you're coming back and forth from the security line, there's probably going to be a wait. Next can either be a good or a bad thing, and that is that Royal Caribbean is very family friendly. It's not as overrun as, say, a Disney cruise would be, but there are definitely a lot of kids running around without supervision. Of course, there are adult sections that can relieve some of that chaos. Overall, Royal Caribbean does the best job at cleaning and maintaining their ships. You would never be able to tell that some of their ships are 15 and 20 years old. However, things on Allure are nicer, newer, and cleaner, and the design of the ship is much more refined as you would expect. If you're looking for some privacy, Allure has many specialty restaurants to pick from for just a small plate fee. We generally don't think it's worth it, as we think that the food in the main dining room is just as good. However, there is one exception: sushi. Oasis and Allure both feature a sushi restaurant that has some fantastic but pricey rolls. This is bittersweet for us because on the Freedom of the Seas, they have unlimited free sushi. It's just not as good as this. Something that took us by surprise was when we got on the ship, we felt like the stateroom was a little bit smaller. And sure enough, it was smaller by 15% on the world's largest ship. Go figure. And last but not least is the price. You can expect to pay between $100 and $300 more for the Oasis class than you would for the next smallest ship, Freedom of the Seas. This of course depends on the itinerary, the stateroom, and the time of year that you're traveling. So we haven't really given you an answer yet, have we? The pros list seems to be just as long as the cons. Is bigger really better? For us, the short answer is no, but for you it might be different. Here's why. If both ships cost the same, I think it would be a tough call. But the few $100s just isn't worth it to us since we've been on it 3 times now. I think our favorite class of ship would be Freedom, because it gets to go to one extra port, but it's still one of the biggest ships at sea. But if you're a first-time cruiser, or you haven't experienced Allure or Oasis, or if you have kids, I think the extra money would be worth it. There is simply so much to see and do that it can't be matched by any other ship. Not to mention, you get all the bragging rights when you pull up to port and people start asking what it's like to be on the biggest ship in the world. I hope that helps. Bye.